Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you are. Welcome to Ideas to Income. Ideas to Income is my weekly show right here on Facebook/Zoom, where I teach you how to build a profitable business doing what you love, so that you can make a lasting impact and contribution to the world. I specialize in working with spiritual coaches, healers, artists, and content creators, and I help you create consistent 5K plus months and 20K plus launches in your business. Now, I know that sounds really, really good, but the reason I show up every week with little tidbits is because it's not easy. It's not easy, and I know that people who are doing it make it look easy. And trust, there is a lot that goes into it. It is a journey. It is a trial and error. It is an adventure. It is a deep dive into all of your shadows. It is a reckoning with all of your demons. And it is a reckoning with all of your limiting beliefs around money, around yourself, your confidence. And it requires commitment. Because I promise you, and it even happens to me, there will be many, many moments where you want to quit. And you'll have a lot of great justifications and reasons to quit. And so there gets to be a commitment and a choice that you get to make this happen for yourself. It's funny because, and also, before I even say the next point, you might never feel successful unless you actually choose that. You get to choose to be successful now. You get to choose to be committed now. You get to choose, you get to step into and embody the six-figure CEO now. Whether or not the bank account reflects that, you get to choose that now. And there's so many times in my business, and I've been an entrepreneur now for 13 years, there's been so many times when I'm like, I ain't doing shit. Nothing's happening, because I'm like comparing myself to all these other people, or to what even, just to this thing that I can't even like name exactly, and just committed to the struggle, or committed to not feeling good enough, or committed to not feeling worthy, or being unwilling to step into my actual genius zone because it's very vulnerable and scary. And I remember a few years ago, a friend of mine who I met like maybe 10 years ago, he's a photographer, and he wanted to do like some photography project with me. And he's like, yeah, well, I'm picking people that are like really badass and like really successful. And I just was like, am I though? I was like, am I? And even to this day, actually, no. The last few months, I've really been stepping into this six-figure CEO vibes, and like, no one can tell me I'm not successful anymore. But this was a few years ago, and I was like, am I though? And he was like, well, you haven't stopped. And I was just like, that alone makes me successful. Okay. The fact that I have and at the time years ago, I hadn't hit my like income goals, you know. I had done 20K plus launches, but I hadn't done them consistently. And that made me feel like a fraud. Just like Damare says here, imposter syndrome can get us sometimes, all the time, every time, all the days, every day. And so I was just like, am I though? And he's like, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. And I'm just like, oh, that alone makes me successful. You being here, committing to this hour with me makes you successful. And what I said on my IG live earlier is that success in business, especially as a coach, healer, artist, or content creator, doesn't have that much to do with talent and everything to do with your marketing, your positioning, your strategy, your consistency, your clarity. And I say that with a laugh, but also it makes me really sad, because there are a lot of people that are making a lot of money and their programs are not that good. Their level of support is not that good. Or it's like, okay, that was nice. I feel really uplifted. And you get like a fire lit under you, but then it's over, and then what? So I'm here committing to myself and to you to show up every week with a little bit of information here And also in my mentorship program, Entrepreneurial Mindset Academy, we've got some EMA peeps in here. If you're in EMA, drop something, wave, like we got Chris waving, drop an emoji in the chat or wave or say, hey. And I'm so glad that you're here too. And you all show up every week. This is outside of our EMA programming, but y'all are like, let's keep going, let's keep learning. So I love that. And really the people who succeed in business are the people who are committed and willing to keep going and choose to keep going. You don't even have to be willing to choose to keep going. Many times I was not willing. Anyway, end rant for now. Let's get into it today. Today is all about becoming a six-figure CEO, how to think about your business to set yourself up for six figures and beyond. We are going to dive into what I am now calling, I'm testing this information with y'all, by the way. I am now calling the 6 poisons to 6 figures and the antidote. Now, for diving really deeply into like the how-to and all of that, that is in Entrepreneurial Mindset Academy. So for here, I will set you up to think about it. And I'm also planting the seed to consider, if you like my vibe, if you like the way that I teach, if you think that I can support you on your journey, just consider being interested in EMA, which is where we will dive even more deeply into the antidotes. I'll be giving you the how to, the what to, the when to, and all of that in the community. So today we'll be talking about them contextually. I'll give you some next steps because I don't like leaving people without any next steps. But just know that this is a journey, right? And so if we could solve all of our business problems in 1 hour, we'd all be millionaires. So just remember that I'm planting seeds for you and those seeds will grow. And if you already have a coach or a mentor, then you can work on these things with your existing coach or mentor. Okay. So if you're ready, and also if you're on the Facebook Live, come join us on Zoom. The water's fine in here. So if you're ready, drop an emoji, say ready, and we are going to dive into it. We're also going to get like CEO-y. Okay, I have a spreadsheet for y'all. Okay, so let's just go into it. The 6 major pitfalls to avoid when reaching your first or consistent 6-figure year. /years. Okay. In no particular order, let's talk about poison number 1. Poison number 1, and I'll just pop it into the chat right here. Poison number 1 is vague, unclear, or broad target audience. Now, all of these poisons I have consumed. I have consumed all of these poisons. So what is poison number 1? It's when I first started my business, self-love coach. Okay, that's cute. Like a vague, unclear, or broad target audience is something that'll make people be like, oh, okay. That's cool. Or they might ask you what it's about, and then you might try to explain it, and then it's like, okay. Even if it's like doctor, I'm a doctor, like, okay. But if you're like, I specialize in helping dancers increase their mobility and flexibility so that they can win championships, that's sexy. Okay. So when if you just are saying I'm a life coach or I'm a healer, and even if you have a qualifier in front of that, or even if you say something like self-love coach for women, it's like, okay, I still don't really know what it is. So this is a poison that must be antidoted. But before I give you the antidote, where does this poison come from? It could just be logically, you're not clear yet. You haven't done enough work with clients in order to really crystallize what that is. But I think the bigger, deeper root of this poison is you're not believing in yourself, and you're not willing or ready to own or claim your expertise in the market, or own or claim what you really want to do. in order to help people. You could also be stuck in the mask of confusion of like, I don't know, I do a whole bunch of things. If you do a whole bunch of things, then you do a whole lot of nothing for not a lot of people. Like, I'm more likely to hire a therapist that specializes in the problems I am facing than I am to just like hire any old therapist. So you want to avoid this poison. Now, what I will say is, if you are currently drinking this poison, let me know in the chat. It's okay. No one just comes out the womb clear. We don't just come out the uterus like, I am a business mentor that helps witchy healers scale their business to 6 figures. Like, no one comes out like that. Every single entrepreneur struggles with this. Every single one. Okay, only Tracy's willing to admit that this is her. That's fine. Okay, so what is the antidote? Are you ready for the antidote? I feel like there's more things I want to say about this poison before I give you the antidote. A common resistance to this to drinking the antidote for this poison is, but I do a little bit of everything. So I don't want to pigeonhole myself. But if you do a little bit of, like, you can get clients by doing a little bit of everything. Okay, I got clients when I was drinking this poison. So you can get clients, but we're not talking about getting clients. We're talking about setting yourself up for 6 figures and beyond. And the way to do that is to set yourself up as an authority, as an expert in your field, that people will think of you first. Like, oh yeah, go to Nikki. She's the one that helps these people with this problem. Go to Chris. He specializes in helping these people with this problem. There's a life coach on every other corner nowadays, okay? Everyone, I'm a coach. I'm a coach for what? Oh, life. Like, does that make your panties wet? No. It doesn't. Demonis is like, we all clear down here. No, it doesn't. So I will say, don't pressure yourself to get this perfect, because it does take time and experience and inner soul work and self-reflection. So don't pressure yourself, but just know that specificity leads to predictability and sustainability in income. I was getting clients when I was vague, okay? But for me to get that first 20K plus launch, for me to get those consistent clients, I had to establish myself to be known as something, because people aren't going to buy right away. You're building an audience over time. So if you're like, you don't want people talking about you like, oh yeah, like you should talk to my friend Tracy. She's a life coach. Oh, okay, that's cool. But like, I don't know, she like helps like, women and moms and like parenting stuff. And it's like, oh, okay. Versus like Tracy helps you make sure that your kids listen to you. Make sure that your baby sleeps through the night. Like, these are specific problems. And we're going to get into that, I think. Hold on, let me look at my notes. Yes, we're going to get into that. Okay, let's see what Cam says. I can see how sipping this poison is my resistance. In my resistance to answering certain questions about my artistry. Parents, kids of domestic violence. Yes, that's much more specific. See, people now are like, oh, I know someone. I help support them bring love and healing back into their home. Like, that's like, oh, I know who to tell about Tracy now, versus just like, she's a life coach, or like, she helps moms, I think. See, sexy. Not the domestic violence part, but the clarity. Clarity is sexy. And it's okay. I'm just thinking about Cam's comment here. It's okay if you're not like laser. the laser clarity happens over time. Let me tell you, when I was figuring out, anytime I had a new offer or a new pivot in my business, and I would figure out, okay, what's my one-liner? Everyone wants to talk about the one-liner, and people get twisted all out of shape trying to perfect their one-liner. And then when they finally get it, it ends up sounding like very bland. Like someone cut out a piece of cardboard and was like, I help women empower themselves. And it's just like, who the fuck talks like that, right? So you want it to not, like, you don't want to just follow a formula. You want to embody it because you are pulled by your mission and your passion for this particular topic, because that will translate in everything you write. I see so many Instagram bios. I help women, doobie doobie doo. I helped it. And it's just like boring, you know, especially because it's all cookie cutter, right? So if you infuse your personality with it, if you try things out. So like I was saying, I didn't pressure myself to get it perfect. I actually would test it. You know, every time someone asked me, what do you do? Even to this day, I like try different things just to see what sticks. So don't pressure yourself to get it perfect. Okay, so what's the antidote for this poison? The antidote is get super intimate and clear who your soul aligned clients are and speak to them in their language. So there's a whole process to do that, but that's the main antidote. You want to get super clear about who you serve and what is the problem you're helping them solve. And you need to use their language. I actually had a coaching call a little bit earlier today. And, you know, a lot of entrepreneurs like to come up with all these like creative names for themselves, you know, like creatrix, soul maven, mistress of madness. Cool if you're like performing on stage or whatever, but like if I go to your Instagram, I don't actually know what you're doing for me. I don't actually know what it is. So clarity trumps creativity, at least when it comes to who you are all the time. So anyway, the example I'm sharing is so on her website it said something like creative communication something strategist or something. And I don't know what that is, but that doesn't mean it's wrong. But the important question that I asked her was, does your ideal client know what that is? Because if they don't, they're going to read it and just be like, I don't know what this is. I don't know how you can help me, you know? And I'm actually thinking about you, Nikki, that's like, oh, well, I don't want to call myself this or that because that's so basic. Basic is good if it's clear. And if your soul aligned client knows what it is. So that's the first antidote. So the sub antidote to that is banish your ego. This isn't about you. Anytime people are like, oh, I'm so creatrix, mad mistress of maven madness. And I'm just like, that is so about your ego and being like, oh, look at what creative name I can come up with for myself, that no one knows what the heck it is. So I actually don't know what I can hire you for. Is like, if you're a self-love business coach, be a self-love business coach. If you're a parental coach for children of domestic violence, be that. Just be that, you know. Okay, so this isn't about you. This is about your client, your soul aligned client, who they are and the problem that they have, that they talk about all the time. This isn't about you being like, oh yeah, like this is what you need to do, like move your body and stuff. Like, you know, stop trying to convince your audience of what they need and give them what they want. Now, I struggled with this for a very long time, and I still do. I'm just copying and pasting so I can put the antidote in the chat here. Yes. I'm so glad you're here live. Okay, so sorry, the bullet points didn't translate. Let me put them here. Banish your ego. Okay, yeah. So a lot, especially if you're like one of those spiritual, like witchy people, like I am, like everyone's like, ooh, yeah, like shadow work, fifth dimension. Now, if your soul aligned clients know what that is, by all means, use that. But if they don't, if where they're at in their life, they're not using that language, stop being so freaking creative. Just be real, like, because people can smell that try hardness from like 100 miles away. I see I run so many communities with like hundreds of entrepreneurs, and I just see so many things where it's all about your ego and just trying to like look cool and make something sound cool, when in reality, it's not clear, So, any questions or comments about poison number 1? We have 5 more poisons to get through, so keep that in mind. But I would love to hear, are you picking up what I'm putting down? Okay, we got 1 heart. That means we're good to go. Okay, so poison number 2, vague or unclear messaging in your services, products, or offers. So it's kind of like similar to poison number 1. So hopefully I won't go on an ADHD rant about it. I'm really passionate about these antidotes. So, but it's the same idea as the unclear audience, but now it's like unclear services. People will be like, yeah, hire me. I actually saw like, book a cleansing oracle alchemy with me. It's like, what? Like, what am I booking? I don't know. And even something like energy healing, right? Like if it's not specific, depending on who the client is, like even for me, I'm super witchy and woo-woo, and I've done dozens of kinds of energy healings. But even then, if someone just says, yeah, book an energy healing with me, I'm like, what do we do? What kind? Like, what happens? What is it for? What is it going to help me with? What problem is it going to help me solve? Right? So just calling it an energy healing versus, I remember when I was in Guatemala, I immediately, once I heard that this woman did this, it was like, she does womb healing somatic massages. Now, this woman does a whole lot of other shit in the session. It's like a 3-hour healing session. But I was like, womb, yes. Healing, yes. Trauma healing, I was like, yes. Give me her number. I want to book. So even in like the service, the single service that she was offering, it was very clear what it was. Like even something like, oh, therapy. Like, okay, therapy for what? What do you specialize in? I don't really know. It's really hard to find a therapist that will be specific, by the way. So if you are a therapist, please be specific. You'll attract a lot more people. So if you're vague or unclear in what you write about, in your services, in your products, in your offers, then people are not going to buy it. They're going to be like, okay, they'll book. Like this is the difference between they'll bookmark it for later and like, I need this now. Think about psychic readings. There's like hundreds, millions of psychic readers all around the world. I remember when I chose someone to book, it was like twin flame reading. I was like, ooh, I want that. So you need to be specific. So the antidote for, again, I promised I wouldn't go on a huge rant because it's very similar to poison number 1, except it's specifically around your services, products, or offers. So the antidote for that is get training. This is a skills thing. Learn the skills of effective copywriting, messaging, marketing, packaging, and pricing your offers. It is a skill. Not every coaching program offers this. If you've done coaching programs or mentorships before, I'm not saying, and they were helpful, but they didn't help you specifically with this part. This could be hands down, I think for a lot of you, what's missing. Because if you don't know how to write copy that converts into sales, if you don't know how to properly message and position your offer in the market in a way that is attractive to your soul aligned clients, if you don't know how to properly package or price them, then you're just going to be trying a whole lot of things and doing a whole lot of stuff and getting a whole lot of nowhere. Which, you know, side note, we do this training in Entrepreneurial Mindset Academy. So, because it's important to learn how to write copy that converts, how to message and position your product in the market, and where to do it and how and when to do it. And then also how to package and price your offers according to your soul aligned clients. This is where I've got burned. So I'm going to say a little bit of how I've got burned with this. I've had coaches and mentors in the past be like, you need to do a $10,000 year-long program. That's how you're going to scale to 7 figures. And I'm like, what the hell am I? One, I don't want to be with people that long. Two, what the hell am I going to offer this $10,000? So, and while that strategy is a strategy that works, it wasn't in alignment with where I was at the time or who I was or where I was in my business at the time. So, or even my ideal clients, like my ideal clients aren't trying to pay $10,000 to spend a year with me to do, I don't even know yet. You know what I mean? So it's got to be the right alignment of messaging, positioning, packaging, pricing that works for you, for your business to be sustainable, but also that your soul aligned clients will actually pay. Like it wouldn't make sense to market a $50,000 product to someone who can barely afford the rent. So this is a mastery. These skill sets of copywriting, messaging, marketing, packaging, and pricing your offers is a skill that is learned over time, and it is learned much faster when you have a mentor or coach guide you. Okay, poison number 3. Who's ready for poison number 3? One person is ready. Yay. We're going to keep going. All I need is one. 2 people. Okay. So poison number 3, overcomplicating your systems and funnels. I could say a whole lot about this, but I'm going to try not to. I'm going to try to get my ADHD in check. Keep it simple. Like, I don't like there. It's like, okay, let me tell you how it happened in my business. I would go down so many rabbit holes. I would see.
Turn that towards your sister.
Say that again.
Oh, sorry, I unmuted.
Oh, okay. The mic was hot. Okay. What was I saying? It's easy to go down a rabbit hole. You know, you see something cool online that a successful coach is doing, and you're like, ooh, I'm going to do that. So you try to DIY it, and you're like, okay, let me just copy what they're doing. Let me do that. And then it's like, oh, it didn't really work as well, or I wish it could have worked better. So then you see something else, or you hear a podcast and you're like, let me do that instead. And then you're like trying all these things, and you're basically Frankensteining all these things that you see online and DIYing it. I just thought of like 2 things at the same time. It's like when you try to, if you're not a seamstress and you try to sew your own dress from fabrics around the house, instead of just like going to a tailor to fix a dress you already have, that's overcomplicating it. So what I help my clients with is, you're getting distracted. Stick to this funnel. You just need one simple funnel, which is just a fancy way of saying one simple client journey that will take people from cold to sold. Cold meaning they have no idea who you are or what you do, to sold meaning money in the bank. They're like, yep, I know what you do. I need your service. I want to hire you. And you want to keep that simple. Now, I struggle with this poison daily to this day. 1, I have ADHD. 2, I'm a manifesting generator. 3, that is how my resistance shows up. My resistance shows up by focusing on too many things so that I'm actually sabotaging myself from creating the results I want. You've got to stick to something simple, and you've got to stick to it long enough to actually see the results. Because if you abandon something just because, oh, it didn't work, let me try something else, you're just like, it's like planting a seed and then being like, nope, this is the wrong place. Then you dig it up and you plant it somewhere else. Nope, this is the wrong place. Then you dig it up and you plant it somewhere else, versus just planting the seed and watering it and seeing what sprouts. And then when you see what sprouts, then maybe you can be like, oh, okay, I can tweak something. So getting distracted by all these other things is another way that we sabotage ourselves. So the antidote for overcomplicating your systems and funnels is /R. 1, we're kind of out of order, so I'm not going to send them yet. I'm going to say this. 1, be resilient. Don't quit a strategy just because it didn't work right away. Like, stick with something long enough to actually see results. Now, there's a finesse to this, right? Because I know some of you are probably going to be like, well, what if it's just not aligned? What if it's not right? And it's like, okay, well, we'd have to have a deeper conversation there to really determine, is it really not aligned? Should you really abandon this and try something else? Or is this just your fear? Is this just your trauma? Is this just your lack of limiting beliefs, your lack of confidence getting in the way of you just sticking with something? Okay, so be resilient. If something doesn't work, but you really believed that it would, trust that initial thought and stick with it long enough to actually see results. And there's a lot of pieces in your business that need commitment and persistence, like building your audience, selling your offers, crafting and refining your offers. I'm still crafting and refining EMA every day because I want to make it better and better and better. So there's no such thing as perfection, or we've gotten there. We're always making things better as we go. Simplify your systems into an easy step-by-step process that you can follow each day. It's very easy to get overwhelmed by like, oh, now I'm going to do list building stuff. Now I'm going to do audience building. Now I'm going to do sales. Now I'm going to do, because then when are you actually going to coach? When are you actually going to serve your clients? There's so much that needs to get done. So you really want to simplify your systems. A couple of systems that you want to simplify is your lead generation, when you bring in new potential clients. Another system you want to simplify is your sales process. When you actually get a potential client, what happens? What takes them from I'm interested in working with you to working with you? And how simple or complicated is that process? You want to simplify your actual service delivery. You want to have these standard operating procedures for each of these things so that 1, you can follow it if it's just you. And 2, it's easy to now delegate that to someone when you decide to hire a team to support you. So there's a lot of systems that I put in place in my business. And then it was like, oh, okay, I'm making money, I'm doing stuff, I got so much to do. Now it was so easy to just copy and paste that system and give it to my assistant. And now she just kind of knows what to do every week. I'm just like, hey, do this, do this, do this. I kind of give her the shorthand and she's like, yep, got it. She knows exactly what to do. So simplify your systems into an easy step-by-step process that you can follow each day. Learn what to focus on and when, so that you don't get stuck going down unnecessary rabbit holes. Now, these are big statements. I don't have enough time today to go deeply into how to do that, but make that a priority to simplify your systems and processes. Don't have your papers everywhere. Put everything online if you can. Get some sort of online app or like task manager app that can help organize, a customer relationship management tool, an email marketing tool that can help you with all of these things. I do support with that in EMA. So for my EMA members, you can ask me questions about it. And I also do have some training modules in there for the systems, some of the systems, and I can create more if you want them, if you ask for them, some of the systems that I use and how to set it up, particularly customer relationship management. So check out that module if you're in EMA. If you're not in EMA, join EMA so you can check out that module. Okay, poison number 4. This is a big one. You either don't know how to sell or you think selling is icky. I hate to break it to you, but selling is a part of life. We are always selling something. Even when we're deciding where to go to eat with a group of friends and you really want to go to this one restaurant, you are selling that idea to your friends. No problem, Chris, I'll see you later. So you need to learn how to sell. And there's so much that goes into that. So the antidote for not knowing how to sell or thinking selling is icky, that's another kind of caveat to the whole selling piece, is inner work on confidence and healing from toxic capitalism, right? A lot of times we think selling is icky, not because selling is actually icky. Selling is not inherently icky. It only feels icky because we've been on the receiving end of icky sales. But just because some salespeople are icky doesn't mean that selling itself is icky. So you want to learn and master authentic sales, an authentic sales process that works for you, your clients, and your business and doesn't feel icky. Now, I teach an amalgamation of my favorite sales processes in EMA. There's also a module already there about sales, which is a great module if you want to look at it. And I'll teach a much more deeper dive sales process that you can actually copy and paste and follow. And it works wonders. And I have different options depending on what your personality is, what your preferences are. So yeah, you want to work on that confidence, heal from the toxic capitalism and all of the shitty sales you've received. Just because you've been on the receiving end of icky sales doesn't mean that sales is icky. Sales is required to make money in your business. And then you want to either find a coach, a program, work with a mentor, someone to help you read a book, all of the above. I've done all of the above. In the beginning of my business, and even to this day, a good amount of my education and coaching, like when I'm being coached, is around sales. Like, I don't know if I could put a percentage to it. I was going to say 80, probably 80. 80% of what I spend roughly in my business is learning how to sell better, learning how to, and copywriting, messaging, marketing, positioning, all of the stuff from poison number 2 is also, to me, I bucket that all into sales. But in this poison, I'm specifically talking to when you are actually selling your service to someone or a group of people. No one is perfect at this. We can always get better. So please make learning how to sell a priority in your business, which I teach how to sell 3K plus packages in EMA, if you're interested. Okay. Poison number 5. This one might be a hard pill to swallow for some of y'all, but probably not you if you're here, but let's see how, maybe in the past for you. But poison number 5, being committed to your problems and circumstances. And here's all I'll say about that. Look, we all got problems. We all got life. Life is life. Mercury retrograde fucks up our technology 3 times a year. Your boss is going to act like a dick again. Your kids are going to annoy you. People will betray you. You will fail. Your launch will fall flat. Your program will fall flat. Your computer will blow up. Like, these things are going to happen. But the difference between the people who succumb to those problems and the people who have built successful businesses, which I imagine are all of you here live, is that they are more committed to the results that they really want to achieve, and they're willing to play the long game. So stay committed, show up every day, don't get distracted, don't let your problems and circumstances stop you. Be honest with yourself about whether or not it's just an excuse to keep you playing small. And you get to receive support from a mentor, coach, and community who know what you're going through and how to and know how to help you overcome those problems and circumstances. That's all I got to say about that, because I'm not doing therapy here. Likely, if this is you, therapy can be very helpful. Therapy, coaching, healing, whatever it is, because that poison number 5 runs deep. And in order to really embody the antidote for poison number 5, you got to be willing to look at your shit and smell it and know that it stinks and clean it up. So there's not much more that I'm going to say about that. But yeah, be honest with yourself. Okay. Poison. Yes, poop. Poop emojis in the chat today. Okay, poison number 6, the last poison, and then I want to hear what y'all think. And so before I go into poison number 6, I just want to invite you again, if you like what you're hearing, if you like my vibe, and you think even on an intuitive level that I can support you with scaling your business to consistent 5K plus months and 20K plus launches, please DM me. I'm interested in EMA. This is not going to be a hard sell. I'm not going to be weird or icky or pushy. I truly want people that join EMA to feel aligned, to feel a sacred fuck yes. And like, I'm ready to do this and I'm willing to do it. And I think you can help me get there. So when you say you're interested, I'm not just going to be like, hey, okay, let's get on a call. Like, we don't have, who has time for like too many calls anyway? I'm just going to ask you a little bit about your business. And then we're going to chat a little bit to see if it's a fit. You can ask me any questions. You can say like, hey, I'm having challenges with this. Is this something that you cover in EMA, etc., stuff like that. So it's literally just like a conversation to see if it truly is a fit. And then if it is a fit, then I'll send you an official invitation to join. And that's important to me. Okay. I have been on the receiving end of too many calls and too many DMs where it just feels like really pushy and like, oh, so what did you think? What did you think? You know, can you know, like, you're going to join? Are you going to join? And it's like, you're all consenting grown ass adults. Okay. So I don't need to, nor do I want to fight for your success more than you want to fight for it. Nor am I interested in fighting for your mediocrity if that's what you want to fight for. So really who I'm calling in are people that are like, I think something could help me. I just need some more information. And I also need more information about you. So if you are interested in joining and want to have a super no pressure at all conversation about EMA with me, please message me either on Facebook. I'm going to pop it in the chat here. If you're watching this on Facebook, you know where to message me. Click my face and click message, or you can message me on Instagram. I'll just pop it in the chat here. And just message me, hey, I'm interested in EMA. And I'll be like, cool, tell me about your business. And I'll ask you specific questions about it. And then you'll get to ask me questions too. Okay, so poison number 6 is playing small or still treating your business like a hobby. Playing small or still treating your business like a hobby. Let me tell you, I did this for a very long time. Now, I had moments where I played big and then I would go back to playing small, and then I would play big and then I would play small. Playing small, what does playing small look like? Playing small looks like, oh, it's summertime. It's no one's buying anything in the summer. It's just too hard. Playing small looks like, well, I'm comfortable where I am right now. So I don't want to put in the effort to actually put what I really want to offer out there. Or I'll just do one-to-ones. I don't need to offer like a package or something, or I don't need to offer a high ticket offer. I'll just do a membership for $10 a month, or I'll just, I'll just put out a bunch of free stuff. It's still treating your business like a hobby. Like if you are not investing time, energy, and money, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but it has to be something. If you're not investing time, energy, and money into your business, then what do you expect it to do for you? If you're not investing in your business, how are you going to expect it to do something for you? If you're not doing anything for your business, why would you expect your business to do something to sustain your lifestyle for you? This also looks like you're not willing to pay for the paid Calendly link or something like that, or the paid Zoom. Now, this is not a commentary on whatever your financial situation is. Depending on your financial situation, get grants, get loans, get scholarships, get money, like get some money that you can actually invest, because it shows up as not professional if you're just like using your Gmail. Like, buy a domain. It's depending where you buy it from, it's $10 to $15. Buy a domain. Use your email from that domain. It's little things like that that allow you to show up professionally. And it's not just about clout, because I'm not about clout or ego so much. It's about you embodying the professional that you are. So I want to make a distinction there. It's not about the clout. It's not about flexing on people. And it's not about your content or your like Canva designs looking super shitty, but be honest with yourself. What are some ways that you're behaving and moving in your business that are not in alignment with the 6-figure plus CEO that you are inside? That includes taking care of your body. That includes waking up at a decent time. That includes going to sleep to get a decent amount of rest. That includes cutting off all those fuck boys that you're fucking with, or fuck girls that you're fucking with. That includes not spending so much time codependent with toxic family members who aren't supporting your dream. Playing small includes all of those things. Leveling up requires you to energetically, frequently level up, and that will also change your environment. Because if you keep hanging around the same old do-nothing people, right, you're going to do nothing. So look around you. Who are you surrounded by? Who are you surrounded by, or who are you allowing into your energetic sacred space? I love my family, and a lot of them really, they don't do it anymore because I've been doing this a while. A lot of them really tried to convince me to go back to Wall Street. And I was like, I know that that's coming from love and concern and worry, but like, don't worry about me. Worry about me if I stay on Wall Street. They're not seeing the world through my lens. So this isn't about like cutting people off either. You can cut people off if you want. It's your life. But this is about who am I allowing into my energetic field? Who am I allowing to pull me from my purpose? What old habits am I allowing to keep me small? Whether that's like eating like junk food, or being cheap and not wanting to pay the premium price for your calendar scheduler. Being cheap and like just using your free Gmail instead of just getting a domain and being like official. I hate that I'm saying being cheap, because I don't want you to receive this as a judgment, because I've been there. I've been there. And depending on what your financial situation is or your financial upbringing, this is not a judgment at all on any of that. This is about energetically embodying the badass CEO that you are. Like, would you buy a pair of sneakers from like Nike if like, let's just say it was a one-on-one sales thing and the Nike guy's like, yeah, email me at like poppyforlife@aol.com. You'd be like, I don't think I want to buy sneakers from your store if your email is poppyforlife@aol.com. You know, what else do I want to say? I could say a lot more, but that's all I'm going to say. Okay, so you need to move, think, and act like the six-figure CEO you already know you are. If you feel like you're not at the level of business that you want to be, imagine what's possible. What would your life be like when you're at that level? Or are there any six-figure plus business owners who you admire? How do you imagine they move through the day? How do you imagine they wake up in the morning? How do you imagine they make decisions? How do you imagine their commitment level is? How do you imagine their integrity is? Right? Embody that now so that the results can follow. Raise your rates if you have to. Package your services into sexy, irresistible offers that people can't wait to buy. And buy a domain. You know, like, please don't take that too literally. You get what I'm saying, right? I'm talking energetically, right? Whatever it is for you. I don't want people to be like, Amelia told me to buy a domain, you know, and we break the internet because everyone's buying domains. Zoe said, how do I cut out them toxic ass kids? Those freeloaders. I know. Freeloaders, bye. Okay, so what do I want to say? Yes, so now I'm going to show you the spreadsheet, which I think I will do a deeper training on this because there's a lot of numbers on here and I don't want people's heads to explode. But, and I only want to show you like pieces of it at a time, okay? So we're going to get up to the hour. I might go a little longer. So just as a reminder, DM me on Facebook or Instagram if you're interested in joining EMA, and just DM me, hey, Amelia, I'm curious about EMA. I'm interested in joining. What's the haps? Okay. Okay. So we're going to start low here. Share my screen. Okay. So you see this, right? See my screen? Unmute and let me know if you don't. So when we first start our business, right, we just want to make $1, right? So let's just say 500 per month. This is part-time or less than part-time, which then means that we're making $6,000 a year in our business. Now, playing small could look like, oh, I'm just going to offer these like cheapy things, right? To even make $500 a month, if you have a $10 thing, whether it's like merchandise, a hat, a t-shirt, a single recording of your music or of your meditations, of your healing, or if it's like a low ticket membership and your goal is $500, you need 50 clients a month. That's a lot of work. Okay. Now, single classes or workshops, some of you might be like, oh, let me just do classes that are like $25 each or whatever. That's 20, well, not 20 classes, but like 20 students a month. So that's like 4 classes a month, 5 students per class, and you're just making 500. And, you know, marketing a class, putting together a class, that's a lot of work. Let's say you're still at one-to-one sessions, you know, anywhere from $50 to $100. To just make $500 a month, you would need 10 clients per month at $50 a session. 5 clients a month at 100. Now let's see how this actually translates. So to actually sell this many people per month, you would need this many per week. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to see 13 people a week, one-to-one. You would need, oopsies, I lost my place. Is there a question here? All right, see you, Nikki. You would need, okay. So conversion rates, industry standard conversion rates means only 3% of your entire audience is a buyer at any given time. So to get 50 buyers in 1 month, even if it's just $9.99, at a 3% conversion rate, you need an audience of 1,600 people. And these are the numbers. So it's a lot of work. You need to build your audience to this point. And not only that, this is the buyers, right? The conversion rate. 3% of this is 50. If you're getting on sales calls or like actually talking to people to try to sell them into your program, industry standard is a 20% conversion rate of the number of people that you actually have to speak to. So if I speak to 100 people, 20 of them will actually buy. Now your conversion rate might be better depending if you get better at sales. My conversion rate is about 80% because I'm really fucking good at sales. But industry standard is 20%, meaning 100 people on the phone, 20 people are going to actually show up. So in order to get this 50 clients a month at $9.99, you need to talk to 250 people. Talk to, DM with, they need to click your website, whatever it is, right? So these are the numbers. And this is a lot of work and you're only making $500 a month. Now, what's possible if you offer something higher ticket? So I put here, I know we've got artists, healers, coaches in here. If you have a $500 package to make that $500 a month, you just need to sell one per month. That's less than one a week. You only need about 33 people in your, if you have 33 people in your audience, one of them is going to buy this $500 thing. You might need to talk to 5 people. It's a lot less. $1,000 package, $3,000 package / journey, 5, like these are the numbers, right? I won't go into every single one. Or if you're like a big contract, speaking, acting, music, dance gig, we're looking good here. But we're okay. So what is full-time income? Let's call it $5,000 a month for $60,000 per year. You want to focus here because it's a lot easier to build that. And it's the same amount of work to sell people on a lower ticket item than it is on a higher. Oh, sorry. It's the same amount of work to sell people on something that's cheaper than something that's higher. That's industry standard across the board. I feel like I might have made some eyes cross, so I'm just gonna pause there. There's a lot more I can say about this spreadsheet, but I just wanted to show you, the benefit of thinking bigger and treating your business like the 6-figure plus business that it is. I think I'll do another episode where we dive more deeply into the spreadsheet. I think the poisons were important to lay the groundwork, but we'll go into the spreadsheet more deeply. Okay. Everyone has to hop off. That's fine. Okay, so I have to hop off for a meeting. I just want to say thank you, and I'll share my reflections here, picturing what the 6-figure badass business owner's day look like, what they do when they wake up throughout the day, their habits is really helpful for me. I'm going to embody that starting now. I'm picturing J. Cole, by the way, so the figure is higher than 6. Amazing. This spreadsheet is also really helpful. Thank you, Cam. Any other questions or reflections before we drop for today? Thank you for sticking with me. It was a lot of content, a lot of information, and that was just in an hour. So imagine how much more deeply we can dive in Entrepreneurial Mindset Academy, where I can actually look at your copy, look at your offers, do one-on-one sessions with you to do all that healing inner work stuff that needs to happen, mindset shift that needs to happen, and helping you decide what to focus on and when, so you can actually create big results more quickly in your business. Any questions? You're welcome, Nami. Was this helpful? I hope so. Yes. Okay, good. Questions, reflections. If not, I will end. So I'll say going once, going twice, going 3 times, and sold. If you're interested in joining EMA, please DM me. All right. Take care. Bye, everybody.